Tic Tac Toe. Probably the most boring game to exist. Ever. That's why I thought, let's take this pile of and give it an upgrade. So I had this weird friend back in school who came up with a spin-off of Tic Tac Toe. One day he told me about the rules of his revised version and I thought to myself,
hold up, wait a minute.
This could actually work as a fun little game. It just needs some tweaks and more speed, I guess. So his version looks a little bit like this. We take all tokens and put them in a deck. Then we shuffle the deck a couple of times. And once nobody knows anything anymore, we return half of the deck to each player. But both players cannot see their deck. They will draw the token on top once their turn begins and can then choose where to place it. The rules for winning are the same as always. You get 3 of a kind in a row and you win. But it doesn't matter which token you placed. You win by placing the 3rd token in a row. Hold on. You might think to yourself, why are there 5x and 5o tokens if the game field has only 9 squares? Well, that's what I thought too, but depending on who goes first, you either get to place 5x or 5o tokens. So the deck needs to contain 5 of both. So I sat down at my desk and cut out a paper version of this game and then playtested with a couple of friends. And while the main idea was actually kind of fun, well, let's just say the game was a bit too random. It involved no skill, only luck, and for a lack of a better word, it just kinda sucked. So I changed some of the ideas to reduce randomness and involve a bit more skill. I came up with 2 things. First, you could actually see 2 tokens of each player so you can plan a strategy ahead of time. Second, the game needs a very short timer, so each player has to think very fast and move quickly. And lastly, I thought to myself, why not make the grid size bigger than 3×3 and use different win conditions? So with that out of the way, I opened up Adobe Illustrator and hopped into the design of the game. I was having a hard time designing the whole thing because, well, there is not much to design. It's just X and O tokens, so there's not much room for creativity. After a while I came up with this design and I was so desperate at that point that I actually wanted to go with it. But then I showed it to my friends and they were like, "What?" And I was like,
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Eventually they told me that they think a wood theme would fit the game, and if they want Woody, I give them Woody. So after I digged my way through tons of YouTube videos on how to make things look woody, I finally ended up with this design. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Now that I had all the assets that I needed, I finally started developing. First thing on the list was to implement a single player. That wasn't too hard, since there are a lot of videos online on how to make the original Tic Tac Toe game and the difference isn't that big. The toughest challenge was to program an AI for the opponent. In most Tic Tac Toe games, the computer just places randomly, but I wanted it to be a real challenge. So I did some thinking and came up with this. As you can see, it's quite a lot of code for a simple AI, but who cares, as long as it works. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but maybe the AI is a bit too smart. Anyways, after that I decided to tackle creating a multiplayer mode, which I knew was going to be an unpleasant journey. I've had some experience trying to make a multiplayer for Pi Pong, and since there is no multiplayer mode in Pi Pong, well, you can guess how that turned out. But not this time! So I armed myself by watching a Udemy course and countless YouTube videos. As you might imagine, I faced quite some trouble while programming the multiplayer. The following scenario happened quite a lot. Or this scenario. Just kidding. No phones were harmed during the development of TOC TIC TAE. But with a lot of tinkering and debugging, I somehow managed to make it work. Or at least it seems to be working. So if you want to play a TOC TIC TAE multiplayer game, you just have to choose a game and time mode and press on Find Game. If a lobby with these modes is already open, you will join this lobby. If not, you will create a lobby and another player can join you. You can download TOC TIC TAE from the app or Google Play Store and try it out for yourself. Since this is a very new channel, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe if you liked the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.